Hey everybody, welcome to the show. It's Mark, it's Bryon, it's Geekonomics. We're back another week, another
Dollar.
time had by all. Bryon, this past weekend, it was the Manchester Comic and Toy Convention. What were your thoughts? What were your opinions? What are your beliefs on how the show went?
Two thumbs up from this guy.
Two thumbs way up.
It was Andrew King did a fantastic job promoting this gig. This was probably by far, and granted, I've not been selling as long as these other guys. I've only been selling without, if you take away the COVID years, maybe 4 years now, 5 years now.
Yeah.
And I only sell at 2 shows or 3 shows a year.
Yeah.
But for me, holy crap. I mean, we had a line out the door to the point where they had to stop the amount of people coming in because you couldn't allow that many people in the room. It was wall to wall, folks, until about 2:30, which is usually it slows down at noon, but it literally
sometimes
it went all day.
Yeah,
I loved it.
I was there with Matt, who was doing caricatures for the show, and we did not stop from doors open. I would say a little bit after that, when like the throng came in.
Yeah,
I had to not stop drawing until after the show was over.
Yeah,
we had 2 things left that he was still working on for people.
That's good.
He had to stay around and he had to finish.
That's great.
Yeah.
You know, it's a good show when people aren't packing up early. They're not packing up till 3:30. Like, half the people did not start packing until 3:30. It ended at 3. Usually they start packing at 2 because there's really nobody there.
It seems like it's an untapped market is what I said to Matt. It's like it's an area that just doesn't have a show. So it's like I think that's the good thing Andrew got there, is that there's like no other stuff going on in the area or about like that during that time frame. So
but it's a very nice road to be on. Main Street is very nice. Yeah,
get all this, even the looky-loos just stop in, like, oh, there's a show going on, let's check it out. 2
great big sidewalks with lots of little shops, people walking around. I mean, it's a beautiful day, people are out and about. There's a great coffee shop I end up going to afterwards. There's a pizza place across the street. I mean, it's all mom and pop places, and people are out because of the weather was so nice. But man, I have personally never made that much. I personally have never seen that many people at a show I've been at like that. Like, I'm vending. I've been to shows that way. You know, like I've been to a Comic-Con where the vendor room was packed. And that's what it means, a small little venue.
It was a small, it's the Army Navy Club. And there's rumors October might be the next one. Date not confirmed yet, but October is the tentative time frame for the next one. So
and you know,
had a lot of stuff, like a plethora of different stuff. There was comics, there was
toys,
there was newer toys, there was pops, there was
anime, Pokemon, video game. I mean, I got rid of a lot of stuff, which is great for me, and I still have more to get rid of. It's funny because since COVID started, I have not replenished much, so a lot of this is just stuff I've been trying to get rid of, and it gone. It's great. But man, I think it was probably by far one of the best shows. I think Scott's the week before was one of Scott's best shows. I think 2 good shows back to back like that. I mean,
and it could be big news coming from the Scott show, which I'll tell you about after the show. That I talked to Scott yesterday.
I did too. I already know that big news, but it's not confirmed in any way.
No, not confirmed. That's why I'm not talking about that way, but
but his next show is going to be in June at the American Legion, at the end of June, and we'll be there and promote the hell out of that.
I'll be right at the door. I'll be the first thing you see when you get in the building.
You're the new door guy, right?
I am the new door guy. Yes, I'm officially the new door guy.
Ooh, this is exciting. You gotta have Kool-Aid around your mouth, right?
No.
Or Kool-Aid fingers?
No.
Let's watch some ABBA on your phone?
No.
Dancing Queen?
No.
But anyway, Mark, I mean, I'm glad
any of those things.
Okay. It's awesome to hear that Matt Ryan did well. I'm glad the local artists that were there. There's a couple local there were some artists in the corner over there, other than Matt Ryan.
There was another artist next to us who had his own book and was also selling some of his own stuff, personal collection stuff. And then next to him was a puppet maker.
Yeah.
Who had worked on Fraggle Rock and a couple other Henson shows, like Dark Crystal back in the day. But now he makes his own toy puppets. Like, I don't know if you remember, like the
Mad Balls.
Yeah, Mad Balls kind
That's
of.
That's what it reminded me of. Mad Balls.
So I think it was that basis. It was like a puppet thing.
Yeah.
And he had like a bird one, and
they're in cages.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw people walking around with those.
Yeah. So
yeah,
he did pretty well too, he said. So that's good. So maybe he'll be back.
Yeah.
I know you were talking about wanting to. I don't know if you'll be able to, but
I know. I know. We'll wait and see. I'll ask. If I can't, I'll just stick with the one.
Yeah.
I'll just, you know what? I'll probably stack it. I'll probably put like stuff on the ground more, or maybe get some shelving. But
yeah,
it is what it is, my friend. I got rid of so much toys though, so I could possibly just bring all comics or do half and half next time. So,
yeah, it was a very eclectic collection of things.
Yeah, I mean, I did not expect it to be that good.
No, it was a good show.
Yeah,
but and he did say to us, he thanked us multiple times, or thanked me. I probably thanked you as well.
Yeah,
multiple times for promoting the show on our show, and then because Matt was doing the caricatures, we have more time to talk to the people that are there at the show, so which is kind of cool. But we met a family from Lowell, Mass, who had heard about the show on Instagram.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And, a couple from New Hampshire who sell toys on Marketplace, who had heard about the show through their grapevine of friends, and they'd come all the way from New Hampshire to buy stuff. So
awesome.
Yeah, there was a wide range, and there's some people from Danbury that we talked to. And then a couple of folks from like down New Haven area, down where Tom does his show.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So they'd heard about it through him, so they were there for that. So yeah, there's a wide range of people.
Yeah, I mean, I posted it on the Hartford, Connecticut, and Massachusetts Reddit board.
Yeah.
And the Connecticut Reddit board got like almost 60 upvotes. People were commenting going, oh, I'm so excited. I'm going to take my son. This sounds like a great event.
Yeah.
It got a lot of feedback, a lot of chit chat on those posts. Yeah. So I hope those folks actually made it. But the fact that people were upvoting it was great. So
yeah, because that's the next big, I don't know what about it is, but that's like probably the next big toy show that I know of in the area is the Haven one, or North Haven.
When's that?
The one that we went to. Remember, we went to it years ago. We went to it with Dan and John.
Oh yeah, but isn't that in the fall?
I can't remember.
We went in the fall.
I'd say like late summer, early fall.
It was fall time when we went.
Yeah.
Because we went with Dan. It was me, you, Dan. We had the picture of Yoda.
Yeah.
Sean bought. Yeah. He bought that Yoda.
Yeah.
That was fall time because I remember I was raking leaves.
Yeah.
Around
but that's another big show. That's another big toy show. So I know that's one that a lot of folks are talking about. So
yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
But I hope
Hot Wheels shows I need to start going to, which I found out about. So
you bought 3 Hot Wheels, right?
I bought a lot of Hot Wheels, not just 3.
How many?
Probably like 20 between all the different booths.
Wow. How much did you spend? Or you don't want to say?
Not crazy. I didn't go. I had a budget, and I still have money left out of that budget, so
that's good.
I did good.
Yeah, I have this new thing where whatever vendor's in front of me, I will buy something from them. And Greg, who is never in front of me, he's always in the back. And I go, Greg, I always buy one thing from the person in front of me. So you're that lucky guy. And he goes, well, I guess today's trip was worthwhile for me.
Then he tried buying all your stickers at the end of the day.
Yeah, there was no way I'm going to sell those. And I mean, that would be at least.
Oh, man, that's like the gateway drug to your booth.
It would be like $800 at most.
Yeah.
Seriously, though, that I might have to get 2 bins to allow people, because I literally, Mark, no joke, I had a little kid and their parent digging in with another parent and a kid waiting for them to leave. And like they were trying to like the bin's not that big. So I'm thinking maybe I get 2 bins the same size on opposite sides of the table.
The booth. Yeah.
And that way
gateway into the booth, basically.
People, dude, I sold so many stickers. I looked, I keep track of everything. I sold out of everything stickers the most.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was a good show by everybody. Everyone I talked to said they had a good day. So
yeah, the cosplay contest. I mean, that was well done. The winner, I thought Bob Ross Deadpool, which I got a photo of, was in my opinion, him between Miles Morales. I wasn't sure. Miles Morales was really cool because he had the boombox, Spider-Man boombox.
Yeah.
And then
Bob Ross Deadpool is a great guy. He just does that same cosplay at every show he goes to.
Oh, well, it's the first one I've seen.
It's kind of like, okay, yeah. Well, we've seen it from doing shows about it. I've seen him a lot. So it's like,
all right. Well,
he's a great guy. It's just, it's like,
that's his shtick.
Yeah.
He came in third. But the ingenious part of the cosplay contest was they won money to spend at the convention.
Yeah, and Heroes Legacy. So they got double.
Yeah. So the guy behind me, the first place winner won $50 to spend in the convention. She bought an anime statue, which was $65. So she spent $15 of her own.
Yeah.
He goes, I just sold a statue for $50 for $65. And I mean, it was ingenious because then you're just putting more money back
into the show. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was a great idea. I think he handled everything well. It was very smooth sailing show. No issues.
Yeah. It was a good time.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Ready for the next one.
Yeah, it's weird because now I got to get ready for June, and I have to replenish my comics. I got to go through more comics because I got wiped out. People wiped me out, Mark.
Well, I'll go through mine too. I got a bunch I was gonna get rid of, so hand them off to you.
Well, if you want the money, you're gonna have to put an M or some indication that you're.
I'm saying We'll figure it out like we usually do. We'll figure it out. It's easier to give it to you than start my own booth because I mean, why? If you're gonna be selling stuff, just have you sell it for me, and then I just get it to you.
I got so many comics still that I'm still going through. I want to get rid of. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But anyway, so speaking of comics, the Batman movie dropped over the weekend on Thursday night. We actually it was you, me, John Francia, Rocky, and his girlfriend Stephanie. We went to West Springfield, which I hate to say it, I don't want to go to Enfield ever again. Like this is my second time.
Well, until Enfield, if they ever get the luxury loungers, there's really no reason to go there.
And unless you're kind of like, well, it's a quick movie. It's like an hour and a half, maybe.
Yeah, or if it's a closeness thing, and it's like I don't want to drive all the way to West Springfield, so I'll just go to Enfield and see it.
Well, I want to see Doctor Strange in West Springfield.
Oh yeah, yes, for sure.
I think the sound is.
I will tell you, I did go last night after the show. During the show, Matt had been talking to me about AEW, which is another wrestling program. Started airing their pay-per-views in movie theaters.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they're doing it in Manchester, was one of the theaters that was doing it. So I was like, oh, well, this is interesting. I was like, well, let me look into what the prices are and stuff. So it was $25 a ticket, but I still had a bunch of stored movie tickets from before the pandemic and after the pandemic. So I was like, oh, well, let me see what I can do. Let me see what like the deal is. So I used 2 of my movie passes. All I had to do was pay the upcharge for the tickets. So we ended up going, instead of us each paying $25 to go, paying just $25 for the both of us to go. And it was in like the actual theater. So it was kind of cool. It was a neat experience to kind of be in a theater and just watching like in a huge 20-foot screen.
You say Manchester, Mark?
Manchester.
Was it the
luxury loungers?
Yeah. Everybody's got
it. And it's not just like, and I think I couldn't remember from the West Springfield ones to the Manchester ones. The Manchester ones that we were in, the theater we were in, not sure if this is all of them, I think of the newer luxury loungers than the West Springfield ones because they're leather and they have a heat thing.
Yes, yes, yes. I know. I thought West Springfield had the heat setting
Yes.
because I've been to the Manchester one that does have the heat setting. You can warm up your seats. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
Why would you go to Enfield?
Why would you go to any other movie theaters?
I know.
I don't understand. Yeah. It was just like, so not only was the experience of being in like a movie theater watching a television, basically.
Right.
But it was cool because there's like a bunch of other guys who were people that were into wrestling who were like cheering and making noise and stuff like that. And it's like you're in a movie theater. So it's like Matt and I were just hanging out. I bought seats in the front row where the luxury lounger is like right behind the handicap row. But like the luxury loungers, there's no one in front of you. There's plenty of room behind you. So you're not like people kicking your seat or anything like that because they put the dividers up and everything. So it's like a full on reclined watching like TV like you're at home, just in a movie theater.
I know. Is it great?
Yeah. It was crazy. I was like, I said to Matt, I'm like, why not? I think I'd mentioned it to Rock. I can't remember if it was you or Rocky or someone. I was like, what is the next step in these movie theater chairs?
No, we talked about that.
Did we talk about it? I was like, it's got to be like speakers in the chairs or something.
No, we were saying it's going to be hammocks or bubbles or something. Yes. It's ridiculous.
But I more thought about it because while I was there, I'm thinking about it because it was like a 5-hour show. So I'm like thinking, I'm like, how do they like? They're gonna have to do like gaming chairs where they have like the wraparound like headrests.
Well, that's the XD.
Like right here,
Mark.
They're like in your head.
The XD theater.
Yeah.
The seats rumble. They actually move, and the speakers are right here. You have your own personal speakers.
Oh my gosh, I have to try that.
I really want to go into the XD theater.
I think we might have to do a Doctor Strange in the XD.
Now, a ticket is like $25.
I mean,
per person.
For Doctor Strange, might be worth it.
It might, but would everybody be willing to drop down? I might be willing to just see it with everybody and then see it a second time with the people who want to spend that much money. Because I don't see Jeremy Hutzel dropping $25 to see.
No, I mean, that's fine. I'd probably, yeah.
I definitely want to see a movie there.
Yeah.
But it would be like I don't want to force people who don't want to pay.
I'd be into seeing Doctor Strange in XD.
Yeah. Maybe we see it normally.
Yeah.
And then we'll want to see it again. And we'll be like, hey, who wants to see it in XD? And then that way.
I will tell you, because you're going to start talking about Batman, which has made me think about it. We got there for the show started at 7. And
this was last night?
Last night.
Weren't you guys tired? I was beat.
No, we went around and did some stuff. Like I said, we went to the portal. I told you before the show, we went to the portal. Then we went to a secret location and got some cheapy graphic novels, which I've been sworn not to talk about on the show. And then we went into the mall, to the food court, got dinner, and then went to the movie theater. It's a good time. And you're a luxury lounger, so you're relaxing. So it's like you're like doing anything strenuous or anything.
Yeah. I mean, you're just hanging out watching.
Yeah, it was a good time. But I was talking about with Batman, still in almost every theater in the movie theater.
Yeah.
And from talking to the employees, because we were there for a while, had a chance to talk to some of the employees, and they were like, "Yeah, everyone's basically been sold out just about."
I believe it.
Showings at 9:00 on a Sunday, and he said there was still like a decent amount of people in that showing.
I believe it.
We were in the theater next to where they were showing Batman.
Yeah.
And it was literally rumbling this side of the theater that we were in. Like you could hear the noises. I'm like, Matt's like, what is that Batman next door? I'm like, yeah. He's like, wow. So that's a noisy movie. I'm like, yeah, there's a lot of explosions and a lot of stuff going on.
Well, let's get into it because I'm going to keep on my end, not like anybody needs to know this, but I'm letting you know, Mark. I'm going to keep the participant thing open in case Rocky does show up. I don't feel like he is
on my screen. I have to let him in. So.
Oh, you do. Then I can close that.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
What I'm gonna say is like that makes no sense, but okay if you want to.
So
you got a random screen for no reason.
We've had a weekend to think about it. I really want to see it again this weekend. I'm hoping to see it again this weekend. I'm trying to get Allison to go.
I'll be busy.
I wasn't going to ask you.
Oh, okay.
I was going to see if my wife wanted to go.
Oh, I see.
My other wife. Anyway,
Your non-heterosexual life partner.
Either that or I will see it again with whomever. I don't care. But anyway,
yes.
So going in, I was super hyped. I know you said you had you had no expectations.
Couldn't tell.
Let's start off. I guess the question is,
are we just gonna dive right into it, or do you want to like do like a non-spoiler review first? Or
no, let's not do spoilers.
What? I think I think we should do like a little quick like non-spoiler review, and then
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Let's do that. Okay. Let's do that.
All right. It's like we can't not talk about the whole movie without.
We will not spoil the entire movie, but we might spoil.
Well, not the first 5 minutes, but after that, then it's a free game.
Okay. Hold on. Take it easy, Mark. Relax. Okay. We might not spoil everything about this film, but if it comes up, it comes up. So you're forewarned that.
In other words, the first little bit, we're not going to say anything about the actual plot or anything in the story. But after that, we're going to warn you, and then we are going to do all that, like we do in everyone. So here you go.
Yes.
Non-spoiler review of Batman.
You get so militant, Mark. You're like so militant.
Because it's, I don't know. Anyways, non-spoiler review of Batman. Bryon was super hyped because he's super hyped about every movie, and I, on the other hand, was going in, because DC movie, and I've been burned too many times by DC, so I wasn't gonna get too excited until I saw the movie. And to be completely honest with you, I'll tell you right now, you're gonna be astonished. I know you're gonna be like, "Oh, I can't understand why." Blah blah blah. I'm still after a whole weekend of thinking about it, and just trying to like. I know there's a lot of we know from being in the theater, there is a very positive reaction from multiple people, how it could have been the pinnacle of superhero movies.
I mean, I wouldn't say it was a pinnacle, but I mean, the reception has been very well, and I land in that camp that I really liked it.
I think you read only like articles that are good, but anyways, I've heard lackluster reviews as well, so
I actually read no reviews until after I see it.
There you go. So that's why you don't know what's going on. Well, I'm talking about after I saw the movie, I read them. I didn't read them beforehand.
All right. Let's not worry about what other people think.
Yes.
What did you think?
I liked the movie. I thought the story was very well done. I was not a fan of some of the people in the movie.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
So that's your...
Well, I said it to you after the movie. I liked Robert Pattinson as Batman, which I don't think really means a lot because you don't really have to act much as Batman because you're behind a cowl and you can basically just fight and beat up people.
I disagree with you on that one. You still have to portray Batman. I mean, George Clooney played Batman and he was not good at neither. He was not good at Batman nor Bruce Wayne. So I don't agree with that statement, but that's fine. That's your opinion.
Whatever. That's my opinion. Like I said, I thought Robert Pattinson played a good Batman. I don't think he was a good Bruce Wayne.
And I have a counterpoint to that. But we'll save that.
He was emo Bruce Wayne.
I disagree.
I don't want to see emo Bruce Wayne.
I disagree with that.
He looked like he was about to sing My Chemical Romance every time he was on screen.
I disagree with
Bruce
that
Wayne.
totally.
His hair was in his face. He like looked like he never looked directly up at people. He was always his head down. It was always like, "Oh, Alfred, you're not my father." It's like, come on. Take the makeup off. You've been out of the costume.
No, he only
a couple minutes now.
Only time
take the eye makeup off. They have makeup pads. You can just wipe your face right off and it's gone.
Only time he had the makeup around his eyes is when he took the cowl off when he was doing in the middle of something. That's it. And if you go back, other Batmans all had the black makeup around their eyes as well.
I just wasn't a fan.
That's fine. I don't see it that way at all. For me, I think it was like it's like year one. He knows what he feels Batman should be. And by the end of the movie, he knows what it really should be for the city, not for himself. But also, he is not used to being Bruce Wayne yet. He's not used to being an
He's been Bruce Wayne his
person.
whole life. How long does it take you to get used to being yourself?
When his parents died, he just hid himself and surrounded himself with money and did nothing.
That's not the character, though.
But it's a different take. We've seen the other character a million times. That's why I like this, because it was a different take on Bruce Wayne. We've seen the Playboy millionaire type a million times.
Because that's the character.
Not always. I mean, you could read different Batman's always been brooding. Batman, see.
This is more than brooding. This was full on emo.
I disagree. He found out that his dad did some shady stuff. So he was he was upset.
This was even before that, though. He was that way. Even before he found that information out, he was broody and like emo-y and whiny. And
all right. Okay, listen, you said it. Let me tell you why I disagree, Mark. Okay, I heard it. I get it. You're hammer it down. We don't have to agree. That's fine. I'm telling you why I think the opposite way.
That's fine.
Okay, all right. So you think that's fine. I
understand they played Nirvana during this movie, so now it's your favorite movie. It's fine.
I think the soundtrack was fantastic. I love the score. The score was amazing.
Oh, the score was epic. That guy is a great composer. He did the last Jurassic Park movie too.
Yeah.
He's done it since the Jurassic World came out. He's been the.
What's that noise?
One of the techs is using the bathroom.
The TV was on or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's on the phone.
Whoa. Oh, that's the bathroom door.
No, that's the outside door.
Oh, okay. It's been there. It's been a long time.
It's been a while since you've heard other people in mine.
I know.
Yes.
All right. Let's move away from that. We don't agree. Yes. That's totally fine.
That's fine. Yes. I'm right. You're wrong. Let's move on.
People are going to see different things.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on to the basic plot of the movie. Spoiler warning. If we spoil anything, you're forewarned.
Yes. Now we're in the spoiler zone.
I personally, I did like the fact they gave Riddler a more grounded approach to things.
Yes.
Akin to the Zodiac Killer and other serial killers out there.
It was I kind of thought of it as they kind of hinted at the story from the long Halloween at the beginning.
Yeah, well, it takes place on Halloween
when the first one happened. Yeah. And then the murders are kind of spread out in a way that kind of harkened back to that story. So I like that story. So I was into that. And I think Paul Dano played a great Riddler. I don't think we needed the inside the prison scene.
Put a pin. Put a pin in that. I know. Put a pin. Hold on. We'll talk about it at the end. Put a pin in that. I agree with you. But let's come back to that later. Okay. The movie itself, though, yes, I agree. Dano did an amazing job. I thought when Batman does go face to face with him when he's at Arkham, I thought that scene was I got the chills. I thought
it very much harkened back to me. It harkened back to the Christian Bale Heath Ledger jail scene where Heath Ledger's just sitting in the cell as Joker, and then Batman comes in and they're banging on the glass. So I think it was I thought that was very well done. I think that showed Pattinson's reach as Batman, which made me think he was a good Batman.
But also the whole mind game, how the Riddler thinks they're on a team and thinks and then he's like,
well, and the fact that Batman thinks he knows who he is.
Yes.
But then he ends up not knowing who he is.
When he's he wants to talk to you.
Yeah.
And Batman just says to Gordon, this could be the end.
He says,
no, he goes, this could be the end. Then to what? And he goes, the Batman, because he knows shit. The Riddler could just expose me.
He thinks that the Riddler is going to expose him.
Yeah.
But really, the Riddler's just after him.
Yeah. He's just playing him.
Knowing that he's Batman.
Potential. Yeah. He thinks he knows, but maybe he really doesn't. And I also liked how they played with the theme of how Batman starts off, he's like, I am vengeance. And that role turns at the end when the followers of the Riddler decide to take out the future mayor the mayor-elect.
Very Manchurian Candidate-esque feel.
Right. That's a good comparison. When one of the guys
the way it was shot, at least, is what I was not to make a pun, but the way it was shot.
Wow. The guy who says, "I am vengeance," that was a turning point for Batman to be like, these people think I could potentially be on their side. Catwoman has said to me, "What, you're just like me. You're just like them. Like, we're all, and he realizes, shit, I am this close to just being on their side. Nobody knows. People don't trust me. The cops don't trust me. I like the dynamic between him and the cops. I like how the cops had no trust whatsoever.
Yes.
And they were willing to take his cowl off or kill him if need to be. Yeah. And I think that's why at the end, seeing when Batman decided to help rescue the people, you see that scene where the girl doesn't want to let go, and he realizes Batman needs to give them hope, not instill fear. Because the beginning of the movie, you hear the footsteps, and those people are fearful of him. So I thought it was a great contrast, a great character growth within that. Are you texting? Because I'm getting weird interference.
Yeah, no, I just had to respond back to somebody for something.
Oh, I kept hearing this like, that weird cell phone thing.
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I thought that was great character growth for Batman himself. To see what he should stand for, what he should do, and I think it sets up the next movie well. I loved Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman. I think she was second to Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman.
I know. I could tell you're into Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman.
Dude, she rocked it. I'm sorry. She was really good, man. And
she was very pretty.
But I mean, I think she did a great job as a Catwoman. I thought it was a fun character. You have the levity, but you have a little over the top. And I like how the mask was made just by cutting a hole in a cap.
Yeah, in a hoodie, in like a beanie hat.
Because that's what someone would do when they're poor. I mean, she was just slumming it, and she was robbing these people. She was working at both angles.
Yes.
I mean, she's a con artist.
But she has a full body leather suit. So, that's something a poor person would have.
You can buy those anywhere. This is Gotham, Mark.
And then the shit kicker boots.
Gotta have the shit kicker boots.
Yeah.
And I thought, I don't know the actor's name as Gordon. I thought he was really good.
Jeffrey Wright.
He was fantastic as
from
Gordon.
Westworld.
He really reminded me of Year One Gordon.
Yeah.
I like that aspect of Gordon where he's learning to trust Batman. He doesn't really know what to make of him yet.
Well, he's the only one in the whole thing that trusts Batman.
He's also the only one who's not corrupt. Basically. He's not corrupt yet. Yeah. Because he's new. I mean, in Year One, it's all about Gordon getting on that force for the first time. And
I don't think in this he's new. I think in this he's been there a while because he was partnered with the commissioner at the time. So he'd been in the department for a while.
But he hasn't been corrupted. So I feel like he hasn't.
I think he was just, when he was the only one from that bust, so to speak.
Right.
That was the main story arc that wasn't corrupt.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Let's see. The scene, the Batmobile, that scene with it revving its engine.
Oh, it was like another intro. Like the intro at the very beginning of the movie, they intro Batman. And then they basically like intro the Batmobile. They show parts of it like all through the movie until it appears of like the engine block and different parts of the car like sitting in the Batcave, which I really dug the Batcave being like an abandoned subway station.
Yeah.
Underneath Wayne Tower.
Makes sense.
I like the fact that he's living in Wayne Tower and not in Wayne Manor.
Right. So. Let's talk about probably, I mean, like it or hate it, this movie, the performance by Colin Farrell was unfucking believable.
Oh, it was good. He like was unrecognizable, of course, because he was
But I did not like
in, like full facial prosthetics and everything.
If you told me it was, if I didn't know it was him, I would never know it was him.
Yeah.
Sometimes even when you put that on them, you still see their face, you still hear their accent. Like Tom Hanks is in that Elvis movie as some fat guy, and it just looks like Tom Hanks with a big jowl. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It looks weird and very off-putting.
Yeah.
This was phenomenal. It didn't look like Colin Farrell. It didn't sound like Colin Farrell. And
no, he did a good job with it. I mean, if you listen to it enough, you can hear Colin Farrell's voice.
But
it wasn't like anything like super noticeable.
Oh.
Yeah, he did a great job. I know what they're going for with the character of Penguin. Like they're going with the more realistic version of Penguin instead of like the guy who was attacked by penguins.
Well, don't forget, Mark, this is more Gotham TV shows about the monsters. The same. I mean,
that same really, feel as opposed to.
That's what Batman, the retellings of Batman were not that supernatural aspect of Batman, but the more it's mobster
cartoony versions of
it's
Batman. This is more the Detective Comics Batman.
Yeah, it really is. And this is more like akin to that, where he looks like a penguin because he's fat and bulbous.
And you just make him this, like that's his nickname.
So this is his nickname.
Like,
I like that. So I guess, let's go back to before we give our
but before even that, another great acting piece in the movie, John Turturro.
I didn't even know he was in it. Yeah,
I didn't either. He just kind of just appeared. I'm like, oh my gosh, John Turturro.
And he has a very pinnacle part in this movie. He has a lot of strings attached to some.
Well, that's from
characters.
Like that story of him and Thomas Wayne. I couldn't remember which comic it was from. Was it Long Halloween?
I don't know. I mean, it's been so long.
Because that story, like he gets shot and he goes to Wayne Manor and they force Thomas Wayne to work on him.
Yeah, I mean, it
was one of those. I've seen the cartoon movie of it, but I can't remember which one it was. Might be year one. It could be Long Halloween. It's one of those.
But it was interesting to have.
Someone will correct me, sure.
But. Yeah, tied to Catwoman, tied to finding out who killed Bruce Wayne's father and parents.
Yeah.
But also, Bruce Wayne finding out his parents were not perfect and they were in politics and they did some shady stuff as well. I'm not saying they're bad people.
Well,
they're not as pure as you'd want them to be.
Yeah. And and Alfred explains it away, kind of saying that, it wasn't what Bruce thought it was. It was, he asked him one thing and didn't expect him to do what he did. And Falcone made the decision. And then that kind of led down the path of what happened.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, besides that, I mean, the only other acting issue I had was that one police chief guy whose like accent was over the top. It was just kind of like
I'll tell you something funny. You might think it's funny. When I saw the commercial and he says one thing, it didn't bother me in the movie, but I thought it was Bobby Moynihan from SNL. Didn't you? I thought, is this Bobby Moynihan?
Not the commissioner.
No, the guy that has the weird accent. I thought it was Bobby Moynihan doing an accent. I don't know why.
No, not the original commissioner. The guy that was the police chief after that.
Yes, that had the weird voice.
The thin guy? You thought that was Bobby Moynihan?
No, the fat guy who had the weird voice.
That was the guy that was the commissioner first. I'm talking about the guy after the commissioner gets killed.
Yeah.
Who's like the police chief when they're in the jail and they're taking his mask off.
Okay, yeah.
And he's like very over the top New York accent.
Yeah, I guess.
Trying too hard to do the accent or was really going for it. And was,
I know.
Really
I guess it didn't bother me.
It just kind of took me out of it. I'm like, whoa, what? Like, calm down, buddy. It's like, we get it. You're a police officer.
I guess it's better than it was a 1950s accent.
I guess it was just very, it was very like on the tinge of that. So it was kind of.
But the other guy, I'm like, Bobby Moynihan's.
No, I thought that was the guy from Gotham.
Oh,
at first.
Yeah.
Who played the detective?
Right. Yeah.
But because that's the kind of roundaboutly how they were trying to maneuver the characters around.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, the only other thing is I think they could have edited some things out. It didn't have to be 2 hours and 45 minutes. There's some things that could have been cut out to make it less. Like it easily could have been a 2.5 hour movie.
Well, let's talk about.
You could have lost 15 minutes easily.
Let's talk about
like a lot of shots of just darkness could have been cut out. They didn't have to be so long.
See, I got to see it again this weekend because all that stuff didn't bother me. But
the whole like Riddler in Arkham in the cell scene.
All right, hold on. Let's talk about that scene before we give our final thoughts and our rating. The scene we're speaking of is a scene that felt like it would have been an after the credits scene,
which takes place after the main part of the movie is over with, basically.
Yes.
And they just haven't shown you any credits yet.
No.
It's like they could have shown the major credits and then cut back to that scene later on in the credits, like after they go through like the main characters in the credits.
Right.
Like a Marvel movie would.
Yeah.
And then give you like this
a mid-credit scene.
Yeah. And that would have made so much more sense.
It felt odd.
Because they did that scene and then they went back and showed you more movie stuff.
Yes. With Batman and Catwoman.
Yeah. Like leaving each other.
Yeah.
It's like that could have been before that scene.
This is the one thing we agree on.
Movie.
We agree on this. That scene,
like if
nobody knows.
Like, that was my editing issue with it. It was like, okay, I don't know who made that decision.
It could have been a Warner Brothers thing. Who knows?
I don't think so. I don't know. Whoever it was.
We don't know.
It's like looking at it, to me, in flow wise, you could have had the major part of the movie ends, cut to the scene with Catwoman and Batman, which this is my own things. I have my own issues with continuity stuff in some movies, and this was one of the things that bothered me, which probably no one else in the world has an issue with. But you just had a whole story where the city of Gotham was flooded and put underwater. So now you are in a scene with Batman and Catwoman outside of Gotham.
Yeah, they weren't in the city that was flooded.
Yes.
They're outside of
looking back or looking over a city, which I'm assuming is Gotham in the background.
Yes.
And there's a bridge in the background behind Batman in the scene. Traffic going like crazy back and forth across the bridge. Like nothing's gone on.
It was a country road, wasn't it? There was a cemetery.
As they're in the cemetery, they go to a scene where Batman's standing and there's a city behind him. And you see like the George Washington Bridge or whatever the bridge was that looks like George Washington Bridge.
I don't know.
Style in behind him. And there's cars freely going back and forth across the bridge.
Well, I don't know.
Here nor there thing. It's only a me thing, probably.
Yeah.
But continuity wise, if your city is now flooded and impassable and you're calling in the National Guard to help you get the water out of the city so you can reopen the city, you shouldn't have traffic moving freely across the bridge going to and from the city.
When I see it again, I'm going to look at that to see where that's
going. So that was my only thing. That was a small thing. It's a tiny thing. It bothers me. Probably doesn't bother anyone else. No one else saw it. I have that kind of eye where I look around the whole scene and I find things just because I don't know. It's just my own issues. But anyways, that scene happens. Batman and Catwoman say goodbye to each other. They cut to the thing where they're riding on the motorcycles, which could have been cut down multiple times.
It cuts the credits.
Anyways.
It's the ending.
No, they didn't cut the credits. That's what happened. Well, that's what should have happened. Because that scene that I'm talking about with Riddler is before it.
Yes.
You could have moved that out of that where it was, moved that part with Batman and Catwoman to the end of the movie, eliminating that Riddler scene. So
yeah,
the scene with Batman on top of Madison Square Garden, helping people, that's what like they used as like Gotham Arena was like Madison Square Garden. Do that whole scene, and then Batwoman and Catwoman say goodbye to each other. Batman drives off on his motorcycle, even though he has a Batmobile now. I don't know if I'd be riding a motorcycle. But
it was a Batmobile. It has the the thing on it.
As a Bat cycle is what it's called, not the Batmobile. Batmobile's a car.
Oh yeah,
Cycle is a motorcycle.
But the motorcycles were so awesome.
Yeah, but anyways, so then they do the scene where he looks through the mirror and Catwoman's driving away through the fog. Matt Reeves hitting his
all right.
Cool scene like, quotient for the movie.
We got to talk about the one scene we want.
So that happens. Then the credits happen.
Yes.
Then after you go through all the big characters,
I know,
Batman, Catwoman, all this stuff, then you should have had the Riddler scene.
I know. That's what we said. It's so painful. I know. Let's talk about that scene. Why? If people don't know what we're talking about, they go back to the Riddler in Arkham, and he's talking to an unnamed other Arkham.
Well, at first he's talking to himself.
Yes.
At first he's talking to himself, and then there's another prisoner / patient in Arkham who is sitting in the room 3 doors down from him, and is talking to Riddler through the doors.
Yes.
Trying to tell him like, it's okay. You did well. We could team up and do something.
Look at what you did. You succeeded.
Yeah, you succeeded what you did. It just didn't work out. You just didn't get to finish it.
Yeah.
But you were able to, do what you need to do.
Yeah.
And they cut to the door, and it's a very obviously outlined face of a Joker-looking character.
And he laughs.
And at the end of the scene, he laughs.
Yeah. I don't know how I felt about that scene. It was my favorite.
Cut right there to black, and the rest of the credits.
Well, let's talk about the scene. Let's talk about the scene, though. I mean, I felt like we didn't.
Doesn't fit in the movie.
It doesn't.
Doesn't fit in the movie itself. It's an end credit scene. It's not a in movie scene.
It could have even made the DVD. It could have made the home release as a bonus.
Well, no, because it's like because then you're just like falling into the DC thing of putting more stuff into a movie that could have been in the regular movie.
Mark, you do know all movies put extra scenes on DVDs.
But that's like a pivotal scene, though. That's like a big.
It wasn't pivotal.
Reveal. Well, it's like a big reveal for the story, like overarching story of what they're trying to do.
If they got rid of it, it would not have changed anything.
Well, they're hinting at like Joker's going to be in Batman 2.
I know, but I've kind of felt like they didn't need it at all.
They could have not gotten. They couldn't. But I'm saying if you're trying to set up a trilogy or whatever they're trying to set up movie-wise, how many they're going to do. If you're going to use Joker as your next villain in the next movie,
maybe
having at least a scene like that in the credits would be a great way to be like, oh my gosh, we're getting Joker next.
Yeah, I mean, they did that in the
the way they pulled from placing it the way they did in the movie, it kind of like, even in the crowd, it kind of fell flat because it kind of was like you didn't get to react to it right away.
Yeah,
like you would if it was in an end credit scene.
Right, totally.
So I think that's like where they missed the mark on that. The scene itself was too long.
It should have ended, like you're saying, though, like the last thing on our minds would have been that scene.
Yeah, because you kind of like lose it because it goes back to Batman and Catwoman saying goodbye to each other. So it loses its like effect, basically.
I agree with that.
It was a little long. I will say that. 2 hours and 45 minutes. Didn't need to be that long.
See, it didn't bother me. My second viewing, I will actually have a better idea. I think it was just so fucking excited, and I was so blown away that nothing mattered to me.
Yes, I know. I could tell.
I don't know. Anyway, we got to wrap it up because I know you got to go to work, and we reached an hour.
Yes.
I'll let you go first. And if you want me to go first,
I'll go first because I know yours is probably going to be like a 9 or a 10. So
I want you to just give me your final verdict and your bat rating.
Okay. I will preface it with this is the DC scale. I have a DC scale and a Marvel scale because you can't compare them together and have the same basis.
Well, why would you want to compare them? I would.
No, I'm just saying because that's what you have to do nowadays. You have to have everything.
I don't think so. I don't.
But anyways, so I'm gonna put it on the DC scale. I'll give it a 9. It was one of the better DC movies. Wasn't, in my opinion, the pinnacle of superhero movies.
No.
It was a good Batman movie.
Would you say it's a good
Wasn't as good as
start?
it wasn't as good as Batman Begins or Dark Knight for me, but it was good.
Okay.
Dark Knight is, I think, the top Batman movie ever.
I agree with you.
So it had to beat that, and it didn't. So it falls to 9 instead of 10.
Okay. You have anything else to say before I go into mine?
No, because you're just going to say how great it was. So go ahead.
Well, I want to make sure you get it all out. That's all.
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay. All right. Okay. I just want to make sure.
Yeah. I'm gonna play My Chemical Romance at the end just for Bruce Wayne.
We'll get We'll get in trouble. So don't play
Welcome to the Black Parade. You're not my father.
All right. Well, you're gonna let me talk so we can end the show.
You had said to wrap like I did. I gave you my last bit.
All right. Okay. For me, I agree with you. I honestly, I think, The Dark Knight is probably one of the best Batman films. For me, I'm excited to see where this goes. I really, really enjoyed a lot of aspects about this. I had really minor complaints. It's a movie I do want to see again. I think that Matt Reeves is giving us a great beginning. If he does Hush next, I think that will be fantastic. I liked the ground, the realism. I enjoyed everyone's performances. I have that one big thing is that Joker scene could have been elsewhere. That's my biggest complaint. But I do give it a 9 as well. I give it a 9 as well. I've come to a point where, like, the fact that we have been alive to see our 4th iteration of Batman, but 3rd iteration of a potential series of that actor portraying it in a series of movies is incredible. And I think I'm not going to compare them to each other. I think each one has done. The Keaton 2 movies were great. The Nolan trilogy, in my mind, is one of my favorite trilogies compared to the original Star Wars. I even like that 3rd movie. I like that trilogy a lot. And I've seen them a million times. So this, for me, as a movie, as it stands by itself, I freaking loved it. As we go along and we get a sequel and possibly a trilogy out of this, then I can come back and say, well, did it do better than Nolan? Did it just as good as Nolan? Did it land the ending? Because the 3rd movie in that trilogy, a lot of people, it didn't land the ending. And I get why.
Yeah,
I'm an outlier. I actually liked it, but a lot of
I liked that movie. I thought that was a good movie.
Me too, but a lot of people didn't for some reason.
Yeah.
So anyway, as a whole, I loved it. Is it perfect? No, but I don't think any Batman movie is perfect. But I think The Dark Knight comes closest.
Came closest for sure.
So I agree.
It's also crazy to think that this is the 8th live action version of Batman we've seen.
Yeah, if you count everybody, right?
Yeah.
Adam West.
From Adam West all the way to Robert Pattinson. This is the 8th live action Batman.
Yeah, and it's funny because George Clooney
playing Batman.
George Clooney, I kind of forget he did it because it's so bad. Val Kilmer wasn't bad.
Yeah. Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck, he was good. He was just good.
Yeah.
I think Ben Affleck was a good job at being that older, seasoned Batman.
Yeah.
I think each actor has portrayed them accurately in that life of what he was, that lifespan of that Batman, other than the Val Kilmer, George Clooney, which was just off the deep end cartoony.
Which is,
I'm excited to see what they do next. I'm excited to watch it again to see if my opinions change at all. But it's a movie that I've been thinking about all weekend. And everybody who came to my booth that said Batman was mentioned, everybody was just saying they loved it. I sold those buttons for $5.
Hey, whatever.
Someone's like, I just saw this movie this weekend and I loved it. And they bought the buttons for $5. So anyway, that is our review for the Batman. We both gave it a 9. Go check it out. It is amazing. We just spoiled it, so I'm assuming you've seen it.
Yes.
So
everyone else has.
Mark,
I'm assuming it was number one in the box office this weekend.
yes, it was number one at the box office.
Yeah.
Real quickly, I give you the top.
At Manchester, they only had one theater showing Spider-Man left. So
this weekend, it was the Batman, Uncharted, Dog, No Way Home, and Death on the Nile.
wow, so Spider-Man out of the top 5.
Yeah, the Batman did 128 million.
Wow.
I think that's just here though. It wasn't. Domestic wasn't. I don't know what the worldwide was. Anyway, we'll wrap up the show. Please like, subscribe. We're on Facebook. We're on the YouTube. You can watch us there. We're on iTunes. We're on Spotify again. We're on Podbean. Nice. And next week, is there anything we need to watch or do? Are we reviewing anything next week, Mark?
Oh, I'll be at the Big E all weekend, so I won't be watching anything.
You know what we should try to watch? They're really quick.
I did watch
The Boys.
I watched the first episodes. I hate it.
Wait, they're all different though. Each episode's different. You only watched one though?
I watched 2 and I hate it, so I'm not watching anymore.
All right, put a pin on that. We're going to talk about it next week because I'm going to watch them this week.
Okay. I won't watch anymore, so.
I'm not going to ask you to.
Okay.
I'm going to watch what I can.
Okay.
And we'll a normal show next week.
Yes.
All right, Mark. All right, Mark. Let's wrap it up. We'll see everybody next week.
Yes, as always, everyone, be safe, be good, be kind. Bye for now.